It is time for us to review the Lost Ark patch notes. We have our patch notes for our Western version, the Winter Soloist, which was leaked before today, but hey, it is what it is, right? AGS small indie company. But we got our solo mode update. As we know, we're getting solo mode Thamine and Echidna. We already knew this, which is great for our new players and solo players and more casual players. They're detailing what it means, like the randomized buff stuff. So it looks like after completing specified important patterns, we're getting some random buffs such as like Death Escaper. So it allows you like survive white patterns and things like that. Kind of interesting, kind of cool. There's also the breakthrough system, which completing certain patterns such as vaulting gate 2 armor breaking, players can achieve the buffs. Wait, what's the difference between this and this? Players can check their destined protection. So I guess these are all like protective buffs, right? To make it so that you don't die and things like that, or like protects you from damage. And these are just like random other buffs that give you like more damage and stuff. And then we got some decrease in costs for buying the box at the end, which is nice for solo modes. And then we got some balance adjustments to Bingo Gate 3 removed. All right. Not bad at all. And then we get our story mode. And then we got our elixir adjustments. Now this one, as I was mentioning, I'm just not entirely sure if this is better or worse. Sure, it makes the elixir system simpler, but it sounds like the probability of getting a good elixir is like even lower than before, which I don't know how I feel about. Because what it says right here is that basically for the 5 options, 4 options are selected automatically when you receive the elixirs. So you don't get the 3 choices for each of them. It's just automatically selected for the first 4, which I'm like, well, could it be like selecting like vagabond, like, master of escape, freaking blessing of life, and I don't know, some other trash for the first 4? Or it could even maybe be like luminary gloves, master helmet, crit gloves, and like additional damage pants. Like that sounds an absolute nightmare. It just seems like maybe it's easier now for like the options and not having to select them and not having to do like the chaos and like order stuff. But in terms of like getting elixirs, it doesn't seem like that much easier. In fact, it seems harder. So it reduced the transmute times from 14 to 10. So chance of RNG is higher because there's less opportunity for you to like make decisions. And then increase the base grade success from 10 to 40, which is great. But again, if your options are garbage, if they always just give you like some random ass trash, like I said, like 4 set pieces or 3 set pieces, like that doesn't sound like a good change. Benji's got an elixir right now. I don't know if you've seen it. I just joined. Low-key kind of looks like elixir could be worse than the new one. Yeah, maybe I'll call Benji. So I see you're cutting elixirs right now, and thank you for picking up the call too. But I see you're cutting your elixirs. I'm having some concerns about elixirs because the new system, it feels a lot like, because you don't get to choose the first 4 options, right? It feels like it's gonna be really hard to cut elixirs that you want because you don't get a choice anymore. Like you could just get like luminary gloves and like critical helmet.
Yeah, and then you'd be locked out of master and crit. Yeah,
exactly. So to me, it sounds like it's way easier to cut like elixirs in general, just like learning, right? You don't have to learn anymore, really. But like actually getting a good elixir, it seems way harder than before because you just get screwed over by some really garbage stats.
Yeah.
So is that kind of the right read that I'm getting?
Elixirs, to me, it feels like less thinking, same or less results than the previous one.
Same or less results. So like same or a little bit worse, basically.
Yeah.
Results. Okay.
That's the vibe I'm getting right now.
Yeah, because that's the vibe I was getting too. I'm like, wait, I could just have like because I do like Voldus and I get like what 5 or 6 elixirs, whatever, in a week. And then I can look at those 5 or 6 elixirs, and all of them could just be complete trash, and I'm just really unhappy. Because like before, at least you got to pick and choose between 3 options for the first 4, right? Then you could kind of have a higher chance of getting something decent, or at least choose and not get screwed over in a way that you can get screwed over really hard right now.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's some pros. Like you know how enchanting them also takes gold.
Yeah, you save the gold now.
Yeah, you save a little bit of gold.
Yeah,
so I guess that's a plus. But if you were really trying to get some elixirs, then yeah, it is pretty bad.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's
Mother fucking hey, man, 0 plus 3. Jesus Christ. Get nothing. Dude, and these great success chances are so freaking fake.
I'm sorry.
It's fake. It's bugged.
You know, have you tried praying to your shrine today? Your RNG god shrines?
I don't have one.
Oh, I think you should build one, honestly.
Yeah, we don't have Bible in Korea.
No, not that one.
We don't have a religion.
You're supposed to get a picture of Mr. J Hawk and put it on your wall or in your closet, and then just open it up every now and then and kneel in front of it to pray. Gotta offer some food to it too every now and then. But all right, dude. Thank you so much for answering the questions. Good luck on your elixirs, man.
All right. Have a good night.
Thank you. See ya, man.
Bye.
I think your answer is better. Elixir worse. Yeah, I think so too. W update that for the elixirs, I don't know. Again, it's mixed, right? Because as a new player, for the new player experience, not having to learn elixirs is amazing, because you just don't have to worry about because as a new player, your chance of cutting a good elixir is pretty much 0 anyways, right? So this is a positive for new players. If you don't know how to cut elixirs at all, right? It's a W. But if you do know how to cut elixirs, it's an L. So that's kind of like how I read it. Realistically, good for people trying to get entry set, but terrible for BIS elixirs. Yeah, exactly. Not even BIS, right? Just like a double piece. You know what I mean? Like a double offensive piece, like a master and attack. Like getting a piece with 2 lines that you want is way harder now. But getting a good elixir in terms of like a lot of points is way easier. As long as you can get like a master chaos line. Let's say you're trying to cut master set, right? As long as you get that master line on your elixir, which you might say like, I can select it, but it's not always that simple, because sometimes, like I said earlier, you could just get a luminary glove elixir line on your elixir, and that elixir can't cut the master glove anymore. That can happen now, where you just open up an elixir and you just have a luminary glove, like fucking crit helmet, and like, you know, advanced glove or like boss damage shoulders. Like you can get that now, where it just completely destroys. Like for example, right, you can get this where instead of you want of cutting master, you want to cut critical. But now this critical, the glove slot is taken anymore, and you can't cut that anymore. I wonder if the reset option resets the 4. No, there's no more reset option. There's no more reset option. It doesn't exist anymore. And then we have Transcendence Changes, of course, right? Which it looks better. Like you're literally just pressing the button now, and you have like these buffs that you can go over. It's kind of playing Ute Nori, is what it reminds me of. Or Monopoly or whatever, and then they nerf the costs, which I think is an overall plus. We'll see if the actual probability of getting shit is easier, but like regardless of the probability is like better or worse, I think just like not having to play that 3-hour mini game to get like, you know, not even full Transcendence is good. So new advanced honing material added, like books, basically there's scrolls for advanced honing. We saw this at Loa on. Increases the great success chance, and it doesn't give you normal success, which is great. Just how common will these be and how expensive will they be? We'll see. Would have been nice to get a bigger advanced honing nerf, to be honest. And then the new Chaos Dungeon reworks are coming, which is nice. So tier 2-3 Chaos Dungeon will spend 100 ore instead of 50. And tier 2-3 Chaos Dungeon will have 40 rests instead of 20 spent. Chaos Dungeon Stronghold dispatch rewards will be just accordingly. So dispatch stuff is going to be changed as well. And then we get holding buffs up to 1600, which honestly, I don't understand why they're not giving it us up to 1620. Why are you stopping at 1600? Nobody wants to be in tier 3, guys. Please, just let us get up to 1620. Just holding buff us up to 1620. It's still so expensive. You love being in tier 3. Oh, yeah, definitely. Anybody who has any type of like cognitive reasoning or understanding will know, and they have mentioned this so many times in the past, 1600 to 1620 is where they lose the majority of players. If you're losing the majority of players at that item level, make it so you don't stay at that item level for too long. Okay. Well, the other thing that they're doing is they're getting the Novice Adventure Procyon Protection. You get the Bakoko buff up to 1620. Which is fine, which is great. And then we get a free South Kurzan Power Pass until February 26th, which is going to be when, I guess, from what I can see here, that is going to be when the Wild Soul class comes out. Because February 26th is on a Wednesday. So, yep, that is going to be when the Wild Soul class comes out. It's going to come out the last week of February. And then we have this Icy Breakthrough event, which is, again, expiring when the Wild Soul class comes out. So if you do have any characters that need this, just use it. Don't wait for the Wild Soul class to use it because, yeah, you're not going to get it for that class, unfortunately. And then store updates, winter sale. You know, we got some bundles, Royal Crystal packs, all of that. If you guys are swipers, that's good for you. Cosmetics, honestly, I think they look kind of boring. Neria's looks kind of all right, but I think these are reruns. I think we've gotten these reruns. Yeah, the return of the winter themed Neria's wardrobe. So if you liked these cosmetics, then these are good for you. Then we got some general updates. Now, we got some music box updates, which is cool, but there's some cool updates here that I didn't know about before, which was the counter attacks. So no longer do we have to worry about ICD anymore, which is awesome. Like, ICD was one of the most annoying things, especially as a player. So you're a new player, right? You wouldn't understand like why you couldn't counter after a certain time. So no more ICD is really positive for everybody. And also the taunt resistance. So I guess that means like the delay in between when you could taunt the boss for Guardians is delayed. So, or made better, so you can taunt the boss more, which is good. And then they did a little bit of a con QOL. Card storage, this is awesome. You'll be refunded the amount of crystals that you are basically spent, but shouldn't have spent based off of these new numbers. So that's good. And then some more QOL stuff, which honestly, nothing really matters here. I'm going to close this off with a positive note. If, again, I've said this before, but if you take a step back from your veteran shoes, right? And look at it from a big picture. This is a W patch, right? Solo Thamine Echidna, huge W. Reducing gold cost for boxes, huge W, right? Elixir Changes for new players, right? Huge W. They don't need to learn it anymore. Because new players, if they didn't know how to cut elixirs, they weren't going to get anything good ever. They don't need to learn how to cut it anymore, and they can actually get decent elixirs. Huge W, right? No longer have to worry about that. Transcendence Changes, right? Huge W, right? No longer to play the stupid mini game. Just got to play a little Monopoly. You just press the button, it goes. You know, get your dopamine, right? Cheaper too. They reduce the cost. Huge W, right? Chaos Dungeon rework, good. Advanced Holding Material, you know, it would be nice to get an Advanced Holding nerf, but it is what it is. But it's still a W regardless. Holding nerfs, W, right? It didn't go as far as it needed to, didn't go as far as it should have, but it's still a W. Okay? Power Pass, W. Breakthrough Event, W, right? All of this stuff is a W. They also got rid of ICD as well for counters, right? Also a W for everybody. That's for everybody. Getting rid of ICD for counters is a W for everybody. So, guys, if we take a step back, we look at it from the lens of a big picture for Lost Ark in general as a game, it's a good patch. A new player is going to be doing a con, well, right now, right? But in 2 months, you're going to have a power pass, right? Lost Ark has always been a game where you only play during the big events anyways, as a new player. As a new player, you're never going to come in when there's no big event. It just is how it is. Now, it would be nice if they made it different and you could just get into Lost Ark and play whenever you want, right? But that's just not how Lost Ark is, like, you know, structured at the moment. Now, you can say, now this is what you can say, right? And this I 100% agree with, right? And I think that might be your point too. For a winter update, this is dog shit. For a winter update, this is absolute dog shit. Because winter is time where people have vacation. And usually, those are the times when people do the biggest, juiciest patches for everybody. It's the time where they come out with like the hot time events, the time where they're like, yo, come, we're giving you all this free shit. Because they know winter is a time where people can play more games because they have time off. So for them to not give an absolute fucking juiced ass event for winter is a huge fucking loss for Lost Ark. Again, I'd say as a patch, right? What they gave us, what I have on the plate, right? What I have on a plate is not a bad selection, right? Let's say I was allergic to fish, but they cooked me the most delicious fish possible, but I can't eat it. That's kind of like what this patch is, right? Basically, like, what's on the plate, if you were to give it to, like, a judge to score it, it's a 10 out of 10. Or, you know, 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10, whatever this might be, right? But that fish should not have been fished to begin with. That fish should have been, like, a steak or something, right? So it's like, the patch itself is a W, but, like, if you take it into context of everything, right? If you look at the context, it should have been steak. It should have been, like, a Christmas dinner. It should have been, like, something crazy for new players. Yeah. For a patch, it's all right, but for a December patch, it's bad. And the thing, right? And here is the other problem, and probably one of the reasons for this. And maybe they could have done it. Maybe they couldn't. I don't know. It would have been hard for them to do it with the way that they've structured these things. But again, these are probably things that are planned out for months in advance, right? I think they should have planned it out in a way where the new class was simultaneously released in every region, like, you know, in Russia, in NAEU, and in Korea. That way, they could have given us that big power pass that Korea had. And that would be juicy as fuck for a December patch, right? You get solo Thamine Brel. You get, you know, all these changes to Elixirs. You get Transcendence changes, right? Get holding nerfs. And you get a fucking new class with a juiced ass power pass, giving you fucking LOS 24 and Lost Wind Cliff 24. Character instantly to 1640, right? That would have been a banger of a fucking patch, right? But they didn't do that. And that's the problem.